Jason when I met you.
And my rules are as long as you get, I'm the opposite of most people. I'm like, as long as you get the right gender, you can call me whatever you want. I don't care. I present very masculine, so just get the masculine gender and I'm good.
Hey, Facebook, look who we have now. Yes, we have Collin Williams. Hi, Collin.
Hello to the Facebook verse.
Yes, I'm gonna.
Fellow people stuck on their couches.
Yes, he's in his basement. It's not his parents' basement. It's his basement.
Yeah, I own my own basement, Mom. I rent my own basement, Mom.
He started when he was 17 years old. That was like last year, right, Collin?
I wish. The forehead wrinkles. Black don't crack, but for some reason I look like I'm on it.
You started in Seattle. Tell me about starting Seattle comedy at 17. What was that like?
So it was. My first time was at Seattle, in Seattle, but I wasn't even living in Seattle at the time. So wonderfully enough, if you're familiar with stand-up comedy, if you've ever tried it, you'll know that most places you have to be 21 or older. So that was one of my problems. So I was originally living in Utah and I was visiting my dad in Portland, but bar shows, they're bar gigs, and they don't want to let a snot-nosed kid, 17-year-old, and I understand why. I wouldn't want that happening at my shows unless they proved they were good. And so my dad drove me all the way from Beaverton, Oregon, where he lives, all the way up to Seattle just so that I could hit some open mics because the Comedy Underground was allowing under 21 people in. So I wasn't even living in Seattle at the time, but that was my dedication to comedy was, you know what, I'm willing to hop in a car and drive 3 hours just so I can go to one open mic that was way too long, because if you've been to the Underground's open mic, it runs like 3 hours. So you're going up like hour 2.5 for 3 minutes after driving, across state lines.
Wow, what dedication. When did you know you were funny and that comedy was in your cards?
Well, if you ask most people I know, they tell you I'm not funny still. My ex always liked to say that she got the B-roll of all the footage, because it's like, she's like, you're not funny most of the time. I'm like, I know, I only have to be funny for an hour, like once a week. It's good. It works for me. Prior to going to open mics, I've been writing a little bit because I've been doing some performances at my high school. My teacher had a thing called Comedy Friday, where it used to be that kids would be like, you watch Disney movies or whatever, that wasn't offensive, and it was just every other Friday we do that. And then she gave me full reign to actually go in and start telling jokes. And so you should never steal material. It's a blanket rule of stand-up. There's kind of this one exception where when you're a kid performing for fellow kids, they're like, who gives a shit? You're not doing that. So I would memorize a new 45 minutes to an hour and a half of material every 2 weeks, and I would go and deliver it. So I was learning the performance side, and then I started writing my own jokes, and it kind of gave me this confidence of being able to slip them in with professional jokes. Because I mean, if I can write a joke that gets a laugh after I've told a joke by Mitch Hedberg, I feel confident enough about that joke to take it to the stage. So originally I wasn't funny, but I learned how to be funny by emulating some of the greats, and then moved on to writing and performing my own stuff on stage, and eventually across the worst section of the U.S. that you ever want to go to.
What's the goofiest place you ever went to?
So I've done two of my favorite shows are two very, very small towns, and it's because of just how small towns love you. But it's also the weirdest thing. So I did one show in Shelby, Montana, which is 20 miles south of the Canadian border. Middle of nowhere. I did it in February because I'm great at booking. And if there's somewhere you want to be, it's driving to almost Canada in February. And we got there, town of 1,000 people, and it's just so small. The previous show that they had the week before was traveling strippers. So, me and the headliner, we were following strippers, which that's always how you want to do it in comedy. You can totally match boobs. I have no joke that is good as the worst set of tits. Your best. And the one nice thing is, small town, everyone loves you. So like after the show, everyone's buying you drinks, and then they take you to it's a small town, so there's only 1,000 people, but they have 3 bars because that's all they have to do. So you go bar hopping along the one street they have, and I want to preface by saying never drink and drive. But this is a situation where the town is a block, so it was like a block and a half. I'm like, it was literally negative 20 there the previous week. It was like 5 degrees and snowing. I was like, I'm just going to drive a block and a half. But if you know Pokemon Go, the previous game was called Ingress, and I'm a top guy so I was in my car. I was like, oh, I see a location over there. I'm gonna drive. It's like another half block out of the way. And so I'm parked at what my phone tells me in the game is a fire station. And I'm hammered. We're like a bottle and a half in for the night. It's heavily. I don't drink and drive, but that's how bad I was. Very slowly, just like crawling 5 miles an hour, and I get there and it's parked there, and the police pull up next to me, and they're like, "Why are you just parked here?" Because this was before Pokemon Go was popular, and I had to try to explain things to them. Like, but I was drunk, so I was like, "Okay, listen, there's a fire station here," and they're like, "There's no fire station," because I guess it was an ancient historic site, so there was like nothing there, just open. They're like, "There's no fire station." I'm like, my phone says there is a fire station, but it's a small town, and the cops are so cool. They're like, "Okay, well, just get home safe." And one of the many reasons I love small town shows. I did another one in Collin, Nevada, population 2,000, and it was one of those great gigs where as a comic you show up, and sometimes it's the first time they've ever done comedy, and they have no idea we're very basic art. We need a microphone and a stage and like a light, and that's about it. Like, we don't need too many crazy things. It's not a band coming in, but somehow places still manage to fail on that. So we get to the gig and they're like, "Yeah, we built the stage last week," and I was like, "That's not a good sign." And they've taken a microphone from a karaoke system that just keeps cutting in and out and isn't working. We're in this small little converted restaurant bar, and the other thing you want with comedy is you don't want distractions, but they put us in front of these big bay windows in front of the one street that exists. So we have cars driving by behind us, and then they have not taken down the elk's head that is hanging behind where the stage was. So you have this weird, it's just this combination of sounds not working, things are going past you, like people can look up and be like, "I think I killed one of them last week." And it was another one where I love some of those stories because it's like, it's comedy gone wrong, but still, it's what we do, it's what we love, and that's why we keep doing it.
Exactly. That's where we, really gain our teeth, sink our teeth into those places, and they build our confidence.
Yeah, you don't learn anything from a good gig. You will learn nothing from a good gig, but you will remember a bad gig forever. It will haunt you, and it will either make you improve yourself or quit. And in my opinion, not enough people quit.
Yes. Tell me about you and doing TED Talks for people from sexual assault and something else, sexual assault and suicide, and you can do a TED Talk with humor.
So that was my entire pitch. Actually, was I have a show that I tour, a very dark humor show called My Suicide. When COVID-19 not going on a tour, called My Suicide Note. I took my actual old suicide note and I wrote it into a 90-minute stand-up show that I actually had in Portland at the Funhouse Lounge. I had a fun time out there. It's been, I think it was in 14 states last year with it. But one of the things that always makes people nervous is it's a show where I'm talking about suicide. I'm talking about what led me to want to kill myself. So being molested as a kid for 6 years, growing up in a violent household, growing up in a cult, all of these things that culminated in it. And a lot of people are very nervous, just like, well, how do you, like, people will say, well, you shouldn't joke about being molested as a child. You shouldn't joke about suicide. But as comedians, that is how we heal.
That's right.
So that's the talk that I delivered, was essentially an argument of, you do not have to heal this way. Everyone has different ways that they work. I might use Zoloft, and you might use Seroquel, even if you're using the traditional psychiatric methods. We all have different ways we heal. And for comedians and a lot of people, dark humor is that way that we cope with these things, that we deal with these things, that we express ourselves. And so, although you don't have to choose that, cutting off that method for someone could actually be a dangerous thing in the long term, because it could cut off their avenue of reaching out or gaining help.
Absolutely. There's so much stigma against getting help. I know people that we all know people that should get help, but they're afraid they'll lose their job if their boss finds out that they're going to get help.
Especially if you're in a right to work state, yeah.
Yeah.
And so sometimes the things you're left with, or either that or you might have grown up in, I was touring in the Midwest, and it was a very different show there, of delivering the exact same show, but with the audience and the environmental differences, where a lot of the times some cultural areas aren't as into talking about mental health. And so one of the few ways that you can kind of broach that thing is through the humor that otherwise, everyone is just going to be like, oh, suck it up, you know, you're gay or whatever they say in a small town in Nebraska where they threw cheese at my car. And yes, that happened. God damn those teenagers.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, that's the level of fun they have there. So I'm pretty sure a lot of the emotional capacity hasn't been developed when you don't even have a therapist in your town. So you know what you got? You got jokes.
Yeah. Well, when I do comedy for military or veterans, I'm always telling them that this was my life. This stuff wasn't funny. It's only because of Shakespeare that it's funny now. So if you have anything you've been through that you have not made funny yet and you're ready to make it funny, meet me in the back and we'll talk about, because veterans are, 22 of them are killing themselves every day. And so if they can find ways to heal from whatever they've had to do so we can speak English, they bury that stuff. We all bury stuff. Not just veterans, but everybody. Sexual assault or that leads you to want to kill yourself. Right? Yeah.
And one of the things that I always encourage is don't stop the medication. I always tell people, it's not the fix for everything. It's just it's one of those things that you can use in consortium with everything else.
Yes.
Don't cut anything off. Do whatever it takes.
Yeah. Have you ever heard of dialectical behavioral therapy?
DBT. Familiar with DBT. A lot of times also for veterans they'll use acceptance commitment therapy as well as another fantastic one. Because there's some things, so DBT is fantastic for rewiring your brain in the way that it looks at the situation. But one of the things with a lot of extreme trauma, so one of my friends was a counselor, a mental health counselor with the VA, and they run into a lot of issues of your brain shouldn't watch your buddy die.
Wow.
That's not something where you're like, oh, I'm just thinking about this the wrong way. No, it's a horrific thing that's happened. And your brain should be horrified for it. It's wrong. It's not built into our nature. So the acceptance, the ACT therapy, which I love, is going, okay, this happened, and now this is how I move on from it. I have to accept it and then move on from it.
I love that. I know when I've tried to do comedy, walking in as an individual to a VA facility, I often hear, even at the VA, the stigma comes out of their mouths as an excuse not to do comedy. They'll say, oh, we don't want to trigger a veteran. Okay, then why don't you change the word trigger?
Yeah. One of my favorite things is when I get to do shows. One of my number one new booking avenues is actually it's mental health groups that are pulling me in for the show, which you would think is counterintuitive where you have a guy who's talking about suicide. You're like, why would you put him in front of a group that is someone who could be triggered? Like one of my favorite shows last year, if you remember the horrific Pulse nightclub terrorist attack that happened in Orlando, it was
Yes.
The third largest terrorist attack was the shooting at the club there, the LGBTQ club. And they set up a counseling center, they ran out of funding, and so they have the person who ran that set up a new peer support space. And so I was able to go out and do a show to help raise money for there. And you would think that is the exact, people would think that's the exact group of people who you have the gay community, which is a very, very, the gay trans community, very heavy suicide rate because of lack of acceptance and love and care. You have people who've gone through extreme trauma. And you let people know in advance that, hey, this is going to be here, so if this is an issue you have, you don't have to come. But for the people, I've always found that the group of people that you're making the jokes about, as long as it's done artfully, are the people who appreciate it the most. They're the ones who, when you talk to healthcare workers, I have a bunch of therapists that will recommend people come to my show, even though it's about suicide, because they're like, this is something where you get it the most. You get the joke, you find the most humor, the most relief from it because of your personal connection.
That's wonderful. You're doing God's work. I'm telling you.
Oh, God's not involved in this. I say cunt during my show. He's not on board with that, I think.
How did you become the funniest comic in Utah?
So everywhere has nominations for if you're, to try to become. So I was nominated for the funniest comic in Utah. I lost that year to the guy who took second to the guy who took second in Last Comic Standing that year. So I like to think I was third in the nation. I know that's not true.
That's cool.
People always like ranking things. Art is very relative and subjective. So it's a thing you put on your credits. But I might be the funniest to one person, and someone who's really funny to me. I talk to a lot of people after my shows. and I will have to not recommend comics that I know I love because I know they might not like the exact same person.
Yes.
So, quite frankly, I probably would not actually want to be the funniest comedian in Utah because I know the people in Utah and I would like to be funnier than that. So I have a dark humor base, and I'm sure as hell not going to be pro-Mormon church like my material. After going up my cultish background. So.
Well, since you're in Utah, are you in Utah right now?
Yeah, so I'm actually this is broadcasting live from basically Salt Lake City, Utah.
So are you interested in doing a dry bar comedy, or are you beyond that?
I would say no one's beyond Dry Bar. Dry Bar has done some fantastic work, but their branding and what they do is also very different. So if you try to do a Dry Bar comedy special, there's rules. They're filming in Provo, Utah, which is right by Brigham Young University. It is a city that is 80% Mormon. And so they know who they're going for, and they know that they want to make the most family-friendly specials possible. I know some friends that have done Dry Bar. I have several friends that have done Dry Bar specials, and we've talked about those challenges. And where I'm going with my comedy, especially with talking about mental health and talking about the trauma that's happened, there's no way I can take me being molested as a child and turn that into a PG family-friendly routine. And I have a half an hour of material that I could do that would fit Dry Bar, but when you're trying to figure out where you want to go with your career, if I do a Dry Bar special, I'd really hate for those fans to then come out and see a show that may be good, but really is not their cup of tea because they want a very PG show. But I also don't want to do just a PG show because I found something that's a lot more fulfilling to me, and that I think it has a bigger impact. Talking with people after shows, I get to hear some really fantastic and horrific stories, but I also have had to be able to develop better connections with people because of discussing trauma versus just making a joke about shitty Wi-Fi.
I think I look up to you so much for what you do. I really do. I just can't.
Someone better look up to. I'll take that. Thank you.
When I met you at that mic at the Riff mic in Portland, Oregon, I had no clue what the heck you were talking about. I wouldn't have known what a TED Talk was to save my life. But now I totally get it. And I wish that I would have really known exactly what you do in that moment, because I'd have been able to stand there and talk to you for 4 hours and burn your ears off.
I'm sure I'll be back in Portland once this whole COVID thing blows over. The plan is always to figure out a way to get back on the road with whatever comedy looks like in the after world.
Yes, and I'm here in Vegas now. I moved to Vegas.
Oh wow! I was actually trying to set up a show in Vegas too. I know several of the guys back down there. Vegas is one of the closest cities to Utah, comedically, geographically. Comedically, very different audiences. Old drunk chain smokers are not the same as the Mormons. But with where I'm at in Utah, I keep bouncing back here because it's so cheap to live. But I mean, our nearest city, Vegas, is 6 hours away. Boise's 5 hours away. Denver's 8 hours away. It's not like the East Coast or the West Coast where you can get from Portland to Seattle in 3 hours, or you can get from New York to Philadelphia on a train. So we end up doing a decent amount of back and forth because Vegas is one of the closest tour locations, which it's a city that really has a huge entertainment industry, which is very helpful, and some good clubs, especially Don Barnhart's club.
Oh man, I love Don Barnhart comedy.
Jokesters Comedy Club.
Yes.
If you're in Las Vegas, check out Jokesters Comedy Club. You will get a show that is twice as good as anything else on the strip for half the price.
Yes. What a pro. He puts together the best lineup. He's hilarious. And don't go when he's on a cruise ship because you don't want to miss Don Barnhart. He's great. So
some amazing headliners in there, though. If you are looking at comedy clubs to ever go, find out if the owner was also formerly a comedian, and not just a comedian, I should say a good comedian, a touring comedian, because they know the best guys. They won't just book someone who is famous and who might not actually have a great act. A lot of the guys that you might know from TV, they're really good on TV, but they spend so much time on TV, they haven't spent time touring around. Whereas a lot of the comics, we get to know each other when you're on the road, and so we know people that are just absolutely hilarious, that will kill you, that will be better than any blue collar comedy tour, or any Kevin Hart special. And you're going to be able to see them for half the cost because they're not famous, but you'll get an even better show.
Great advice. Absolutely. Where can I help you out online to get traffic to some of your stuff?
So my website is comiccollin.com. The biggest project I'm actually working on right now is really huge. I'm so excited we're doing this starting this Saturday. If you're familiar with Reddit, it is the 7th most visited site in the U.S. right now. It's normally the 6th, but Zoom was for some reason, people have been using Zoom this month. But if you look at websites, it's like Facebook, Google, YouTube, and then Reddit, and then below Reddit is Netflix. So huge traffic site, and I help run the section of it called Roast Me, which is for comedy roast where anyone can submit.
So the section of Reddit is called what?
Roast Me, like comedy roast. So Roast Me, and we have, I think, 1.9 million subscribers as the last time I checked. And I've been talking to some other guys that run it because I'm a comedian. There's people who love roasts, and I know a lot of great comics who are not doing anything right now. So we are starting comedy roasts, live comedy roasts, where Redditors will be exclusive roast battles. The people I have on the lineup right now are the top roasters across the country. We have people like Robin Tran and Keith Carey from Comedy Central Roast Battle. We have, I just got Frank Castillo, who won season 2 of Roast Battle. Says that he's down for doing one of our future ones. So starting Saturday at 7 p.m. Pacific time, 10 p.m. Eastern time, through the rest of May, you're going to be able to see a live comedy roast with professional comedians, not only battling each other, but speed roasting people on the spot and roasting just everyday people that have submitted from across Reddit. It's going to be like a roasting triathlon, basically. It's every single piece of roasting that I love, and that's the best parts of television, and that's the best parts of live roasting, and it's combined into the fantastic 1-hour program.
So you know how to roast people?
One of the reasons I got into Roast Me was because of my love of just completely. There's something about comedy where you love the dark humor and you love just ripping each other to shreds, and they say we only roast the ones we love, and I definitely say my girlfriend would agree that she gets so much of that. Just constantly just hitting her one after the other.
That's amazing. I'll get that on the post and comiccollin.com, and then your Reddit scenario of Roast Me that's starting Saturday, 7 p.m. Pacific time.
And we have, so one of the comics I have in this first week is a great comic I met out of Portland, actually, for anyone watching from Portland. Alex Avery's going to be on that first one.
He's like my son. He's like a son.
Yeah, Alex is fantastic. The other people that are on there, in the original roast battle room in the belly room, they have ranked matches where the comics will go head-to-head. The people I have are top 50 roast battlers. Nicole Buchanan is one of the top 3 roast battlers in the pretty much everywhere, basically, because the roast battle is home in LA.
Wow.
So the people who are going to be roasting, it's not just comics, it's not just good comics, but it is the best comics who are best at roasting.
Wow. Well, I'll put a blurb on the post with the video, and you can go up on there and tell me what's incorrect. I'm happy.
I'll just spell check everything.
Yes, please. And then if you wouldn't mind sharing it with your people when you're done.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's one of the nice things about being able to talk with everyone now is we can still connect, and we can now hopefully build each other's user bases. If you're watching this, you could have watched Netflix, you could have watched Hulu, you're watching this, but obviously there's not many people watching this as much as there is Netflix. Probably, I don't know, I don't want to say that you don't have 1 billion people watching you every day.
I don't.
It's a little lower than that, probably 10 million. But I think this is a great time for comedians to really connect and for us to be able to share with our fans the people that we know are great. So that way, once we come out of this other side, when you see a name coming up at your club, you'll go, oh yeah, that's the person that I saw in Linda's thing who was really fantastic. I'm going to go check them out.
That's my whole goal. That, and it's depressing everywhere in the world. There's so much suffering. So when I'm talking to you and then I get off the phone with you and I go to somebody else and somebody else, I'm actually having a social life, and it's lifting my spirits, and my people are going to fall in love with you. Pretty soon I won't have any fans.
See, this is actually my preferred social life. I like just sitting in a basement alone. This is here where stage is not. So everyone's like, this is horrific, and I'm like, everyone has to leave me alone. Just sit at home, microwave food, and wife. This is perfect. This is great. Aside from not being able to do shows part, this is my heaven personally.
That's great. You're very professional, and I'm so glad that I met you in Portland, and I'm so thankful you came on today, because reading all the stuff about you, all your information, I just couldn't wait to talk to you because I have so much affinity to what you're doing. You know, I'm a psych case. I've been to the Edge. I've written postcards from the Edge before the movie came out.
I'm at 6 psych stays now. What's your number?
What's that?
I've done 6 psych stays now. What's your psych stay number?
Yeah, really, 5.
Oh man, I'm beating you by 1. We gotta have some sort of breakdown. We can like get checked in together next time maybe.
Did they call it the flight deck for you?
No, mine are always. I've been to horrible hospitals in the past sometimes. Like one of them, my 5th stay was at a hospital. It was in Pocatello, Idaho. Which, man, if you want great mental health care, go to a rural town in Idaho. They did not have a psychiatrist. I had to teledoc in. And this was back when you were supposed to have a person to talk to. This was pre-COVID. This was a couple years ago. So you're supposed to have a person that loves you and cares about you and is sitting there and makes eye contact with you. Isn't like playing Minesweeper in the other window. But they teledoc someone in finally after me waiting there. Like they had 30 minutes left legally to get me a doctor, and they got it to me. And then I went to their group therapy session. And there's one rule about psych. You're there to heal. The other people are there to heal. You're not supposed to. You can make friends there, but you're not supposed to stay friends. Just because you're both coming out of this, you both need someone who's strong to be able to lift you up and to help you out. And you don't really want to have another person who you might drag each other down. So that's one of the rules: is you don't trade any personal information. It's against HIPAA. It's against the law. You should not do it. And one of the first things a therapist in Pocatello, Idaho, said was, "Well, sometimes people after they make friends while they're in here, and they just really get along, and then afterwards they get out and they know what each other's going through, and they just become really great friends. So I recommend just trade some phone numbers with each other." And I was like, "I'm out. I just check. I'm gone. If I know more about therapy than you, I should not be here."
Exactly.
So, yeah, mine are not flight decks. They're more poop decks. They're shitty places.
Is there any parting thoughts you want to give to people how to get through a pandemic? Because you know how to get through trauma.
I think this is where trauma people actually surviving and thriving, because although it's still horrible and there's still things stressing us, we're used to shit. So we're like, "Oh, welcome to my world." That's been I feel like Batman right now or like Bane in Batman. It's like everyone is if you remember the movie where he's like at the mountain, like, "So Batman, you're adapting to the dark, but I grew up in the dark." Like that's what it feels like for me. I'm like, welcome to my world of insanity. So from the people who had trauma, who've been surviving with this for years, for decades, know that if we're still alive, you can probably make it. And also, once you get out of this on the other side, please, please, please understand that this is what people who've experienced severe trauma, who have PTSD, what you're experiencing now is essentially our everyday. So when you come out the other side and you see someone that's having these issues, imagine if someone right now is to you just like, "Well, you just get over it. You need to just go to work." And you're like, "I can't go to work. I can't leave my house. There's problems. There's a disease." That's essentially what's going on with trauma. So hopefully this will make some compassion and some understanding on the other side. If not, hopefully it will result in a wave of old people dying so we can get liberal legislation passed through. One way or another. It's all, I win one. We either get compassion or gay rights finally, or trans rights finally recognized.
And what is an old person? At what point does one become old?
70 to 79 is the age range with 14.6% of deaths.
Oh, good. You're not in trouble for saying old then, because I'm only 69.
Yeah, there you go. That's good year too.
Yeah, good year. I couldn't figure out what to do for my 69th birthday. I forgot what you're supposed to do.
You do another person upside down. That's your 69th birthday.
In my day
some candles blow you.
In my day when we did spoons, it was spoons.
Wait, Wait, how were you guys?
Do you know what Spoons was before you guys took it and hijacked it?
Okay, so I know spooning with people, and I know spoons for heroin, and I know the game of spoons that always results in your family fist fighting each other over a table.
Oh no, I'm talking about when you take 2 spoons out of the silverware drawer and you put them back to back, you know, the butt side together, and you slap them on your knee and you bang them around and you make music.
Oh yeah, like in the movies right before the banjo plays and some black people get killed. Yeah, I know. Yeah, yeah, and then yeah.
That's it. Good job.
Playing spoons for your 69th birthday? I always used that to pick up a kitchen instrument.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I have nothing else to say, but that when anybody talks about spooning, I'm like going back to when I was 5-year-old driving my mother nuts.
You know, as a 5-year-old, I was spooning. That's part of that molestation thing I was talking about. So not as fun, far less musical, not as catchy as a beat.
Thank you so much for everything. I appreciate you, your comedy, everything you're doing and being on here today. Thank you so much, Collin Williams.
Absolutely. Good talking to everyone. You guys have a good night.
Good night. God bless. Or whoever you believe in. What a doll is he. Yeah, met him in Portland at this open mic that I started. He walked in and I was like, hi. I had no clue. He was talking all kinds of acronyms about the stuff he does. I had no clue what he was talking about. And then I go and read it on his Facebook today for this interview, and I'm like, I totally get it now. I totally understand what he does. But when I first met him, he was talking over my head. He was talking about talking to great big huge groups of people and TED Talk, and I didn't hear anything about talking to people who've been sexual trauma or survivors or suicide survivors. Oh my gosh, I love that guy. Okay, enough for me. On to the next one. Next up is Stephen Pearl. You're gonna love this one at the top of the hour.